Now you might have seen in a previous video I made these benchtop magnetic knife blocks that sold really well. The video for that is above. Some people have been asking for a wall mounted version since not everyone has space on their benchtop. So I've been working on this new design, and in this video I'm going to show you what worked, what didn't, and some of the tweaks along the way. Plus there are free plans available if you want to build a batch of these and sell them and make some money, just in the description. Because I'm using reclaimed Remu door frames, I've first rid them of the door stops, the hardware and any nails. The last thing I want is for my table saw to meet one of those nails. There's a bit of work in this, but well worth it. I ripped the weather grooves off first and then ripped the strips to the width of the knife blocks. I cut them to my desired length. Now I'm going to build an easy jig out of some 12mm ply. This will come in real handy. The thin piece of plywood in the middle here is a spacer, slightly wider than the magnet I'll be using. See, now I've put weight on these three pieces, I can apply glue to the ends and apply some pressure without anything moving. Once dried, the spacer should come right out. I place the jig so the hole is centered on the workpiece by aligning some pencil marks, and I scribe the inside of the hole onto the workpiece. Easiest way to get rid of material is with a force and a bit. And now I have my rectangle mark, I can just drill out between the lines. It's messy work, but not as much as the router. I cut the ends of my magnet bars, just the excess at the ends that won't be needed. I used masking tape and CA glue to glue the jig to the workpiece, but later you will see I found it easier just to use some clamps, so this was pretty much a complete waste of time. Using a flush trim bit, I take out the excess material. I decided to chisel the corners square for this one, but you'll see later I found a better way of doing it. I ripped down a thin veneer and cut it to size. I place the magnet in the channel and then I apply no nails glue to the back, and the idea here is that when the veneer goes on top, it'll stick strongly to that magnet. I clamp it with a bit of pressure to make sure the veneer sticks to the back of the magnet. Now the first attempt looked good, however I think when I stupidly hammered the veneer in place I must have cracked the front of the knife block, and that part is only 2mm thick. You can't really see it, but I cracked it in a couple of places and I think it's irreparable. Also, when I press on it, there's too much of a spring on the front that I really don't like. Not to worry, I mean, you live and learn. I'll remove the magnet, and for the next one I'm going to use some epoxy. But I wouldn't be too intimidated because you don't really need that much epoxy, and you're never going to see the epoxy ever again, so it's a really good opportunity to practice with it, to be honest. Now I cover most of the workpieces with masking tape, just so none of the epoxy gets on the wood. I use a metal oven tray so the magnets can stick to it while I pour the epoxy. I pour a small layer of epoxy first, and then lay my magnet over the top of it. Then I cover the back of the magnet so it's all encased in epoxy. Now once it's dried, I tried using the same template as before to flatten the epoxy down, ready for the veneer. However, as you can see, there's still some residual epoxy on the sides, and this is really where I need the wood glue to bond to wood, not to epoxy. So the easiest solution was just to make another jig. Exactly the same, except it's 1mm wider and 1 to 2mm longer. So we can call it the finishing jig. And as you can see, it did a really good job. For these magnets, I figured I'd round the corners of the veneer rather than chisel out the holes, and it definitely made all the difference. I use expanding Gorilla Glue to bond the epoxy to the underside of the veneer, and wood glue on the sides again. I felt safer using the mallet this time as it's much stronger. Using the table saw, I trim the veneer flush with the rest of the workpiece. I drill some holes the exact size of the keyhole hangers I have, deep enough that they sit flush. It's definitely a bonus having round keyhole hangers here. And then my poor attempt at using my new branding iron, which could have gone way better. I finished them with Danish oil and beeswax. Overall, it's a simple design, but did require some trial and error and some thinking. But I do like how they came out, and I do think you'll be able to sell them. If you do want to make some yourself, the plans are available for free in the description, and I'll be interested to know your thoughts on this piece and if there's anything you'd change.